What's going on, everybody? Fire Chicken here, and this is episode number 100 of Kicking It with Chicken. And I got a co-host today, Mr. LB3.
What's up, everybody? LB3 in the house.
Why don't you tell everybody your involvement with the scrapyard? What you do for us.
All right, man. Well, thanks first off for having me on Fire Chicken. It's a pleasure to be a part of Kicking It with Chicken. I'm just excited, man, about the things that are coming up. But moving back a little bit on that is, or how what I'm involved with is, of course, Peixoto Clothing Company is a company that I was involved with for a long time. Started off doing a sponsorship for you, and then that kind of led into sponsoring individual fighters, growing a team and whatnot. And then rest in peace, Jay Gotham. After Jay Gotham's, passing, we kind of changed things around and made it sort of like, the more important piece was not to have a team, but to just continue sponsorship with the scrapyard under the Peixoto name, which I still use as just the piece of the fighting entity we'll still run with. And so that's kind of what we're doing. Other than that, the biggest thing is that that's important to me is just making sure that I'm there to support the overall operation of what happens. So a month ago or so, I was thinking of titles and things and just wanted to make sure that everyone understood, kind of what I do and how I am. But I am there for everybody, all the fighters, the fight community, helping them out in things such as, like what we're working on things. If you need help with, sort of like an agent, I guess you would call it, helping people out, helping individual fighters, whether that be sponsorship or looking over legal documents, gearing them in right directions for training, gyms, just the whole nine, man.
Opportunity maker.
Yeah, opportunity maker, man. See what I can do to kind of fill the void, help out when it comes down to the logistics, making sure that I'm all of our, our I's are dotted and T's are crossed, making sure that we cover every end and every aspect for opportunities that are being posed, not just to the fighters, but also to the scrapyard. So sort of like to call myself sort of a street beef scrapyard ambassador now. Part of that, just making sure that I'm there again for not just the community, for the fight events, but also just around to help make, build bridges and make connections and then there to help your family out as well, because I think that's an important piece.
Yeah, one of the things that I've talked about forever was, a goal of the scrapyard is to create opportunities for people involved with us as well, and especially the fighters. There's only so much that I can do, really.
Right.
I've really got a lot on my plate as far as obligations and jobs and everything with the scrapyard. That's where LB3 comes in, and he's able to kind of take these ideas and look more into them and make them a reality. There's a number of things that have happened because he stepped up and said, "Don't worry about it. I'm gonna look into it. I'm gonna take care of it." And now he's kind of doing like legwork on his own and like looking out and finding stuff that can help us also. So it very fortunate to have you. You do a ton for the scrapyard, for the fighters, and I can't say it enough.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I totally appreciate it. I grew up. My dad's a pastor. I grew up in an environment where being selfless was very important. In society, we lost that a little bit with the lack of empathy. But it is very important that I stand in place of the lack of empathy and support or promote being selfless. And I think that's what we have with a lot of the guys there. Is just guys that are willing to come out and train, help each other get better, make friends, support one another in their endeavors. And I love it, man. So it's a great place for me. It helps me out. And with that being said, I'm able to do my work that I feel like that, God has put me in position to do. So it's a great thing. So I appreciate it.
So what did you think about the last event, September?
Starting off with that, I think that overall, every year since the beginning of this thing has just gotten better. We've gotten more fighters. We've gotten new fighters. Of course, when the old go out, the new come in. So it hasn't been like a drop off of how many people are getting involved. One event where I'll have 90 people sign up or so, and we'll have 30 fights or so out of that. And it's been cool to see the consistency of it. And so the last event, it was what I noticed was that it's still growing, and it's still, everything is still rolling the way that we want it to roll. On top of that, we're able to see opportunities start to oppose themselves, not just away from the yard, but in the yard. I mean, things like
Yep.
having Jose Senior Benavides at the last event show us the support that he did, shot us out on his own Facebook page, and all that. It's amazing. And I think it's just a wonderful place to be at. But the event was great. The fights were awesome. There was some bangers. I mean, we had some really good fights. The guys that came up from California, they were great competitors, giving us a ton of competition. I think also posed a little bit of reality that, no matter where you're from, where you train at, how well you train, that you got to make sure you're constantly doing everything you can to get better, to level up, because you never know who's going to walk in the yard and put your skills to test. And that was something that I saw this last event, where really people pushing the limits.
Yeah, for sure. That's for those of you not familiar with them, Friday Night Fades is a group of kind of traveling fighters that are down in hold on, I gotta.
They're like California, Los Angeles, or something like that.
Oh, I sometimes I gotta ban people in the chat because they say some crappy stuff. But anyway, they're a traveling group of fighters that go out to these different places, and they're from LA area, but this is their second time coming up to the scrapyard. And first time they came out, like we didn't know what to expect. This time we knew what to expect. I just don't think this time we had enough preparation time, because when I kind of found out they were coming up, I let them know, like, hey, do you guys want to come up? We got a documentary being filmed. And they were like, I didn't think they were going to be down, but they made it work. And, I don't think that, I don't think everybody was really prepared for, for that competition that came up.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like as a fighter, you can't be in fighting like peak shape all the time. You have
Sure.
to kind of go up and down. When you got matches coming up, you hit it hard. Those are training camps. So
Sure.
if you're just kind of showing up to fights every once in a while, and you got guys that are like going through training camps and showing up, it's really like another level. And hopefully it makes people realize, like, okay, I know what I got to do. It's a little bit of an eye opener. Oh, Heather, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Heather.
What's up, Brickhouse? But yeah, those guys are always welcome up here. We just need to be under the understanding with them about certain things, as far as if you're a pro, you can't be fighting. Under the exception of an exhibition match. So, spoiler, we had a pro fight one of our amateur fighters. However, it was an exhibition fight.
Yeah.
No winner announced. 16-ounce gloves, that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, it's just really important to be upfront with people and do all that, so we don't have to make changes like at the last second.
Right.
But
And you know what? Shout out to the guy that did that stepped up and fought that pro, because, at the end of the day, I think there was, at the fights, what I saw was just a little concern of the weight. And I don't know if he was concerned about being pro. He just was more concerned about his weight, and to step up, and to rise to that challenge, not totally be, I guess, a lot of guys are stepping into that ring, and you're getting somebody that's heavy. You're kind of maybe intimidated, but when the fight started, there was none of that. And so I I really commend him for doing that and sticking it out and just fighting, man. Because
He's actually in the chat right here, lights out. So
what's up, lights out, man? Awesome, bro. I'm so proud of you for what you did, man. And just wanted to let all of you guys know that are like you, lights out. You never know who you're gonna face. You never know. But I love guys that are willing to step in, no matter the size, no matter the ability. And you did that, and so I just want to say, man, I really I really appreciate you doing that, and bro, I love that you did it, because a lot of other dudes probably would have backed out and said, no, I'm not going to do this. So,
yeah, I mean,
kudos to you.
people already know that the Friday Night Fades guys, they don't play, and so that right there, that you're going to get a really tough match. And I commend every single fighter that was like, okay, I'll do it. Whether they won or lost, it doesn't matter. You still stepped up and you fought an opponent that you knew was going to be bringing it. And, shout out to Viking Warrior, shout to Chef, Weebin Red, Maliko Goon, King Kai, Lights Out. I don't know if I'm forgetting somebody there. I feel like I am.
Well, you know what? I want to, because you mentioned him, I like to, I want to shoot out, I want to shout out the Chef too, man, because, that kid is he doesn't have a lot of experience, and he stepped into that ring just like Lights Out did, without the notion that, hey, I don't have the ability to do it. He did it. He got in, and he held his own. And if you don't know Chef, guys that are watching, the kid's got a big heart, and and that's another person that I'd like to, give a shout out to and say, man, I'm really proud of him as well.
For sure.
Stand in which he proved that he can handle some of the things that I think one of the things, I wouldn't say some of the things, but one of the things that we have up and coming. So he proved that he could handle himself, and that he's ready for some training, so young guy.
Yeah, 100%. Made it all 3 rounds in his fight, definitely like, showing improvement since he started. And
I mean, you saw it, right? You saw the improvement while he was fighting that fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, in round 1, yeah, I mean, he measured him. He kind of gauged where it was at. And then as the fight progressed, he actually started to engage more and build a little bit more confidence in his own ability. And you could see the growth. And that was really cool to watch.
For sure. Another one. So yeah, Friday Night Fades guys, there were 30 altogether, but the one I really want to talk about too is the one that came out yesterday. Solo versus Pappas 2. Look, guys, if you haven't seen this fight yet, like, what are you doing? This is just like, I would wager to say these guys are 2 of the biggest entertainers in the scrapyard. Like,
definitely,
they come out, they have fun. They have their own like move sets, like a WWE character or a Street Fighter character, Rolling Thunder, the no looky punch, that, the Bionic Man jump. I mean,
the one arm behind the back, the
surprise, the surprise head kick. I mean,
oh my goodness,
it's crazy. And the fight is currently on our YouTube channel. It's doing very well, which is great. It's always good that when a fight like that comes out that is good, that it gets into the YouTube algorithm like it's supposed to, because you want people to see something like that.
Yeah.
I'll shoot you guys a link on the right here. What's up, Pono? Right there. See if that link will come up for you guys. Go leave a comment on it too, please. Like, I've been kind of just scrolling through and reading the comments. A lot of funny stuff in there. It's great seeing scrapyard people representing the scrapyard by commenting, sharing. That's another thing too, guys. Look,
yeah,
I wanted to bring this up and I didn't write it down, and boom, just came to me. One of the most important things that you can do as a fan, a fighter, participant, staff member of the scrapyard is to share. Copy links, share it on your social medias. And I don't mean just you. because the more people that come over to the platform and the YouTube channel and start watching, they're going to start watching everything, including your fights, and it's just going to help it grow faster. Um, so everybody's benefiting from it when you help out. Because
Yeah.
I honestly, myself, Mandy Bear, like we can't share everything everywhere all the time. There's some fights that I forget to share. Um, I don't put in, like, oh, sorry, I forgot to make a reel up for this one. I do have a lot going on. Besides, juggling the constant posting of reels and everything on Instagram and YouTube and then the full on videos I'm editing every day. The more help I get from you guys, whether it's like making good quality reels and collaborating with me on it, that all helps out a lot. In fact, I think it was Ordinary Pete this morning made a reel out of Pappas and Solo, and he added me as a collaborator, and I accepted it. So that's good for him. It shows up on his timeline, but it's like work that I didn't have to do also. I didn't have to make that reel. And so it saved me quite a bit of time, but it still gets seen by the entire Scrapyard audience on Instagram.
Yeah.
Um, one thing that I'm actually hyped about that just came out yesterday, and this has always bugged me. So it's just a minor technical thing. Some people may not even notice it, but if you're on Instagram and YouTube and you watch the shorts and the reels, one thing that really bugged me was when you make a short or a reel and it goes on Instagram, it can be up to 1 minute and 30 seconds long. But on YouTube, it can only be 1 minute long. So that means that I would have to either make like a really short one that doesn't really encompass as much of the fight as I want, or I make a long one that's 1 minute and 30 seconds, but then it won't go on YouTube. Well, what they're doing is they're making it up to 3 minute long shorts on YouTube. So that means that I'll be able to just drag and drop on multiple platforms, and it'll help grow the YouTube channel a little bit more. So I'm excited about that one.
Right.
Less work for me. I won't have to make as many reels. Um, but overall, couple things I need to point out about that event. I hate being the asshole and the reinforcer of rules, but like, come on, guys. There's like certain levels of respect you need to show people, whether it's me, your opponents, the
Staff.
staff at the scrapyard.
Right.
We had an incident where not just one, but probably three people were rude to my medical staff. One of them was very rude and made one of them cry. Unacceptable. I that blew my mind. It made me mad. All of the above. Like, people that come out, they are volunteers.
Yeah.
They do this because they like the community. But once they stop, liking the community, feel like they're not welcomed, well, then they're not going to come around anymore. And then we
I
don't have a
saw,
medical.
I saw that comment that came up in our chat, and normally I don't speak on things. When I saw that, it's like you, immediately my blood boiled, and
Yeah.
I did that because the people that do support us, the people that do volunteer their time, not only are they doing it for the community, but these are genuinely nice people.
Mm-hmm.
Their personality never warrants them to ever get that type of treatment. And they're there to look out for us. I mean, I feel like, would you talk to your mom that way? Would you treat your mom a certain way? I mean, she takes care of you. Now, there's some people who treat their mom very disrespectful, but at the end of the day, we can't support that. And it boiled me up. So I hardly ever make comment. And if you were in that chat and you saw me make that comment, it pissed me off. Because we have to, like you said, I think it's so important to show them that they're watched out for, that they're cared for, that it's not just about the fights. It is about, we can't just be focused on the fight only. We have to be the total operation of this process. It has to be like a well-oiled machine. If it's not,
Mm-hmm.
then things go wrong. And you know, thus bringing up things like, we have a new security team that is volunteering their time. And
Yep.
if any staff member, if anyone or anybody that's in the yard goes through any type of situation, that's what they're there for. Go grab them, let them know, and they'll pull that
Yep.
person aside and talk to them. And if they're not going to respect the security, they're going to come and let us know. And if it gets that bad, you're probably going to get put out of the community. You're probably going to,
And community, right? It's a community. It's a positive community, not just for the fighters, but for everybody that's involved. I don't want people treated disrespectfully. I don't want people to feel like they're not welcome, whether it's fighters, staff. I want referees, judges, everybody respected, not talked about,
sure.
none of this going on. If you have to like whisper to somebody about something and it's about the scrapyard, you're spreading negativity, and that's not what we're all about out here.
And we have visitors that are special guests, and we want to show them how professional we are. We want to show them that our community is positive. I mean, they get one dose of something that's gonna not really fit them. They might not come back. They may not support us, and
Right.
so
You
that's
know what?
important.
Just about everybody that I can think of that's come out, they've had positive things to say about the scrapyard. It's like, man, I was thinking this, but I go out
Right.
there and it's like everybody's welcoming, everybody's inviting. I felt like right at home. Um, yeah, like all special guests, especially, they always have positive things to say, which,
Yeah.
I really feel like the documentary is going to explain all that, and people are going to see the other side of the scrapyard, because
Sure.
really, you guys on YouTube, you see about 10% of it.
Yeah. And that was also a cool thing about the last event too, is having them there, and they kind of cooperatively went around the yard and filmed things that you guys don't get to see, right? Those are the
Mhm.
things that are hidden behind the scenes. And I thought that was pretty cool. I thought that was really awesome. And to say the which, if that happens and that's successful, who knows what's to come, right? There's
Right.
more of that to come. That was
We
just
know
awesome.
there is. We already know there is. I mean,
That
we don't talk about everything because I'm personally the type that I like to under promise and over deliver. I don't like to fill you guys up with, fake expectations and then have you be disappointed when it doesn't come through. So I'm
sure,
pretty selective on like what I tell you guys. You'll know when the time's right, but usually that means that this is going to happen for sure. I mean, the
right?
documentary, like we know that's happening. It's already in the works. It's just a sure thing. I can't really go into detail why, but
Well, now that you said it's a sure thing, is it okay for me to say, are you ready to talk about maybe the plan behind the premiere?
yes. Okay. Locals or people that want to travel out for this, we plan on having a red carpet style um, documentary premiere. So I'm gonna rent out the movie theater, the big movie theater in Gig Harbor. We're gonna have our documentary played for an entire theater full of people. So, and it's gonna be a good get together for the scrapyard. Then afterwards we'll do some kind of after party, red carpet kind of style thing, like, because this once it goes public on who the documentary producers are and everything, you guys will see like, wow, this is actually like a really big deal.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll say it this way, they're all their documentaries are on Prime Video on Amazon. They've been on Netflix and everything else. So, and it'll be an evergreen film to be shown forever. It'll be timeless.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I don't know who's gonna narrate it, but who they have? They had Kevin Costner, Mickey Rourke. Those are two of the names they've had, do the narration for their documentary. So, hey,
yeah.
who
So
knows?
so those that are watching, if you heard what he said, he just gave you a tool
I
to,
did.
to look out. You can figure out who we're talking about by just knowing what he just said, guys. But I think this red carpet idea, I think this is a great, man. I love the idea. When you brought it to me, Steve, I was like, I'm all about big show. I'm all about things that are like gonna, I just love it. And that idea is an amazing thing. So we would love to make sure that everybody comes when that happens, especially our community, the guys that fight. Be ready, man. A red carpet event to me, I think about it, and I think the first thing I thought about was, I joked about it with our conversation the other day with our UK coaches, but it was like suit and tie, right? I'm thinking formal up,
Yep.
dress nice, man, and it's gonna be a good one, man. So I'm so excited for that. And they're not done filming, right? So who
Right.
knows
So
what's gonna happen?
if you're watching right now, they still plan on filming another event. So fighters, sign up. It's in the
Sign up.
Facebook group. Sign up. You might be featured in the documentary. You might get an interview.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
who knows? That's big.
Well, also with signing up, right? We got also an avenue right now where I think it's an opportunity for some guys to be a part of this thing by signing up to be a permanent referee, right?
Judge.
A judge.
Judge.
Sorry,
Yeah.
not referee, judge.
So
We're looking for that.
we are trying to positively fill certain positions, and we have consistent people that come out. Lisa, she does our check-ins. Flex is really consistent with the matchmaking. We got Coach P, Anomaly. They're very consistent with refereeing. We could also use some more legit referees that want to shadow how we do everything. But I want six judges that I have on hand. That way we can rotate them out, do whatever. They need to be unbiased. They need to know what they're looking at. They know how to properly score, which we would run them through how to do that. Cause
Yeah.
we have our way that we do our scoring at the scrapyard. Not everybody understands it when we put a video out, but
And
I
we'll
try
host.
to.
We're going to host a sort of a training for that too. If anybody wants to, be a part of that and learn how to ref and what to look for, and we'll get that going because I think it's important, like you said, to make sure that we have a consistent group of people who are going to do that faithfully. The other flip side to that, the great thing about that is that you're guaranteed admission to our fights every time, and we're non-public, right? So we don't get public spectators, and so if
Exactly.
you're not a fighter and you're not a +1, this gives you an avenue to be at all the events and present to watch these fights in person.
Yeah, exactly. I think you nailed it right there. The only people that are allowed at the events are fighters, they're +1, and event staff. And I do have like a small list of certain people that are maybe I say, okay, you can come out, whatever. We won't talk about that. But those are really the only ways that you get out there. And I just don't want people showing up to the fights and being like, oh yeah, I'm just here to watch. Well, I thought one time, is it cool? Like, not really. You need to do a job. I've asked people to do jobs before that were there, and that we
Yeah.
just kind of were like, oh, okay, they showed up or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, they're not signing up. Okay. Well, okay, they're refusing to do any kind of job. Like, they won't judge. They won't do parking. They won't help with the camera, the live feed. It's like, what are you doing there?
Yeah.
This isn't a personal space for you guys to spectate. It's so
Yeah.
yeah, you got to be somebody's corner, or you got to be staff basically, or a fighter. But we're going to have some positions. We're going to start scouting for people, and we'll find people like maybe Lucha Soul right here that's interested. That could be a possibility. So I know you got experience and know what you're looking at, so that might be a good one right there.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so we mentioned we did mention a little bit of the UK stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
wait,
want to?
actually, we'll talk about the UK and then we'll get into your community stuff, because I put one before the other.
Okay. All right. So UK. All right. So we have I guess we're calling it a UK invasion on our end, right? Because I think that properly suits what our goal is. We're trying to get we actually are in the process of negotiating the final contracts with a UK promoter. And I'm not going to release that information quite yet, who that is or whatnot, but we are working with them. We are doing our due diligence, and I've stepped into the role as being not just a coach on the team, but also a agent for the fighters and our management, right? So just making sure that all the, like, again, going back to saying that all our I's are dotted and T's are crossed. There are a lot more to just going overseas and fighting, right? And so what that's been looking like is negotiation of compensations, making sure that all of our fighters are not only going to be compensated, but also that they're providing safety for us, because we're going to we're going out of our norm. We've never been there before, and we're not, we don't have our own personal guide that's been there and going with us. And so there's a lot involved with that. And so the cool thing about it is that we finally got to a position where the flyer is being created. The venue is the application. I looked into it, and the application for the venue is already in process. So it leads me to believe that a lot of things that we're putting into this, that it's going to go forward. And so I'm really happy about it. We do have 8 fighters.
Well, so yeah, I'll talk about those really quick. I'll list them. I'm not going to list the one that we're kind of up in the air about, because I haven't heard back from the one that I sent him a voice message the other day, and he never got back to me. So I need to hear from him.
Are you talking the new prospect?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll talk about the other ones, but we had to swap somebody out, basically just a lack of communication and stepping up and that kind of stuff.
Sure.
So we're kind of on the yeah. Anyway, we got Lights Out, King Kai, Maliko Goon, Flex, Viking Warrior, Epic Tan, and El Guanaco are all going.
Yep. And all those names, guys, if you don't know them, then you're missing out on what we do at the scrapyard, because those guys are
belt
pretty
holders.
much, I would say, they're the dogs.
They're all belt holders. I mean, Lights Out's he's had 2 belts in different weight classes, 135, 145 boxing. King Kai has held boxing and still holds the MMA belt. Maliko Goon, 3-time boxing champion. Flex, he is the kickboxing 205 champ. Viking Warrior, he's technically a 2-time champion, because at one point he relinquished the title on his own. But then he came back and fought for it. Epic Tan is the 205 Muay Thai champion, and El Guanaco is our heavyweight boxing champion. So, also Viking had has a kickboxing title, and at one point he had MMA.
Yep. So we got a good lineup of guys that I think are going to represent all of you that are in our community. These guys are good dudes that I think are going to push the pedal to the metal, man, and give a great competition. Great show for the UK. And so we're excited about that. I will say this is very important. The guys that are going are ready. They're ready to get training. They're ready to, they're ready for camp. And we're not starting camp, I think, until 12 weeks before we head out. But they're ready to start now, and they're ready to get into work. I mean, Flex is already working. I know Tan is getting healed back up. He came off of an injury, and he's fighting. I think he's signing up for sure this month, and he's going to test his skills to see where he's at coming off the injury. So I'm excited to see this month him get in there. Guanaco is just an amazing dude. I've had him over at the Benavides boxing gym, and he gave at the sparring session, he gave a true heavyweight a run for his money. Let's put it that way.
Pro heavyweight.
A pro heavyweight. So that's awesome. So we're looking like things are coming together. We have an outstanding group of coaches. I mean, who's to say less? I mean, who can say more about Coach Ron, right? Coach Ron is not just a referee, but the guy is just like a wizard to what goes on in technique and everything. And then we got Coach White, Jermaine White, who is still actively a pro boxer. And I don't know if you guys know that. about him, but he is a pro boxer. He is a coach. He trains guys like Malik Ogun,
Lights out.
Jeremiah, who came out and fought with us a couple of times.
Oh yeah.
He's amazing coach. Very nice guy too. Very Southern hospitality type of attitude. Myself and Fire Chicken, and you guys know us. We're always doing whatever we can to help everybody out in every type of way. And I think the cool thing about you that I want to bring up, being one of the coaches, is that you guys know you guys have someone in Fire Chicken that has a ring, that has something right in his backyard, and he opens the door for you guys to come and train. And he actually will get in there and spar himself. He's not a little guy, so you're sparring with a guy who's got a little weight and packs a punch. So I thank you for doing that, bro. And you're pretty awesome.
I've sparred with everybody that's going except for Malik Ogun. That's the only fighter that I've never got in there and sparred with. But definitely lights out. Everybody, I've done sparring sessions with him. People hit me up all the time. They're like, "Hey, Fire Chicken, can I come out and get some rounds in?" Unless I have something planned, I don't say no.
Well, one of the guys that I called, because they weren't in our conference, one of the guys, I won't say a name, he'll let you know. I told him to hit you up because it was a good idea. But he's like, "You think we should get a private barbecue together for the guys that go to the UK?" And I was like, "Dude, that's a freaking idea." So
yeah, that's a good idea, actually.
Yeah, good way for us to get together and shoot the crap right before we actually get really down to the nitty gritty.
And I've actually been training myself. I've had Black Panther out, I've had Solo out, I've had Gaio out. It seems like every week or so I have another person comes out and we get rounds in. But actually, Flex is keeping me accountable for my personal physical state.
He's got you on this challenge or something, right?
It is, but here's the thing. I live 2 minutes and 44 seconds from a gym, like not a boxing gym, but a weight gym, right? And I don't have an excuse, like, other than sheer laziness of not wanting to jump in my car and drive 2 minutes and 44 seconds down the road. Yeah. So every night, one or the other messages and says, "Hey, did you get your workout in?" I'm like, "Oh shit, dude, it's like 10 o'clock.
Sure.
Okay, fine." Jump in my car, I run down there, work out for an hour. Or sometimes I'm like, man, I don't want to wait until like 10 o'clock at night. I'm going to get out there and get 6 rounds in on the bag. And I'll film it sometimes. I try to motivate people too. But anyway, just that constant back and forth. We're always making sure that everybody's that we're both getting in there and
you're sort of holding each other accountable to training.
My coach used to do that with me. I would have to show up and work out with him, or else I would think like, man, he doesn't get any training in today.
Right.
Yeah, I felt like, it's going to suck, but he's going to be disappointed, or, I'm sure he felt the same way. Like, man, if I don't show up, the Fire Chicken's not going to get any work in today. And so keep each other busy. And I've probably been doing it now for, between that, Flex and I, probably about 2 weeks now.
Right.
And it's crazy how you go from like working out when you feel like it to forcing yourself to work out when you don't want to. You start to see like physical improvements, and you start to see like I'm hitting weights more now. So I'm seeing more progression in my, how many times I can lift a certain amount of weight, or how much can I lift.
Yeah.
It's neat seeing that, but you really got to do it when you don't want to do it, or else you're not gonna gain.
That's pretty cool. A lot of the fighters that are in our community probably should do that more often with each other. I think that'd be really cool. There's a lot of times where I see guys on social media and they're meeting up at each other's houses, or they're in their garages and they're training together and all of that. That's great. But in an event that you can't just get to someone's house, what you guys are doing is really cool, because you're able to hold each other accountable and watch each other train and show each other what you're doing, talk about it. And that's encouraging just as much as going to someone's house and doing it with them. So that's pretty cool. With the UK though, I want to add a couple more pieces that we are to expect. Before I get to the big piece of it, is that we have to understand that at the not have to understand, but what's coming up. what's coming up is on the next fight event, during the halftime show, we will be doing a contract signing of that UK event. We'll have all the fighters in the ring. We'll put out some tables. We'll give them some pins. We're going to put the contracts out. The idea is for us to catch it on our film, and then also for you as the branch manager or the head coach, you'll be able to sign witness to their signing right then and there. And then
I'm gonna wear a bald cap, and I'm gonna pretend to be Dana White. I'm gonna get you a big spiky hair thing, and you can be Don King.
Don King. So I think that's going to be cool. But I will say this, guys. We're keeping our fingers crossed that everything works out with the UK thing, that everything is legit and it follows through. We are out there. We're going to have a good time. We're going to be able to go see the London, community and see what's going on out there.
And be on the radio station over there. Love to Beat Radio.
Love to Beat Radio. Yeah. Yeah.
Guys, they're the ones that do our, they do a magazine for us every 3 months and feature our fighters in it, and they talk about us on the radio. So we're going to go over there. We're going to get on the radio. We're going to really try to hype this thing up. We're going to be selling pay-per-views for it, or we're going to give you, links to where you can purchase the pay-per-view and see all these fighters fight. Because I know not everybody's going to be able to make it over to the UK. You want to talk about?
I was going to say, even too, another thing we're going to have is if you guys would like to support it, and I know it's something that we're going to be working on. If you'd like to support us going to the UK and you just want to show it off, we're going to be creating some merch that is going to say London 2025.
Oh, I love that logo.
That logo is awesome, right? It's a scrapyard logo, and it has the British flag in the back. It's an amazing thing. Where the team is actually Team Scrapyard, so that's what we're representing now. Yep. And speaking of which, in the future, as we do these type of events, I wanted to make sure that you guys all know there's more endless possibilities for you guys to get these opportunities to represent and be a part of Team Scrapyard. But just remember that Team Scrapyard is not a official team. What it is a team that goes to these events, supports one another, or they're fighting in those events. And so it's a case by case or event situation. We don't just have like a team of scrapyard guys just waiting around to fight. No, it's not how it is. But that's being said, and then I'm also very excited to say that if everything works out the way it is, I'm excited to just say that this is going to be one of the biggest paydays for amateur fighters that I've ever seen in history. And so our guys are they're ecstatic. We're excited. If this all falls through, maybe we're paving the way for, everyone in the fight community, not just Scrapyard, maybe even in the Virginia branch, or maybe other fighters that are out there in the world that see that they're maybe being treated unfairly, or they're undercompensated. I remember fighting and going to the Emerald Queen, and back in that day, you would get like $300, man, and you're fighting on an amateur card with a pro main event, and I'm like, I'm getting $300. What the heck, right? And they're making thousands. And so, I know fighters aren't always compensated. And again, I love being the guy to step in and say, hey, let's renegotiate. Let's give these guys what they're worth, because I believe at the end of the day, you're being undervalued, and we value you at Scrapyard. We value you in Street Beefs, and we want all you guys to know that, you're important, and you're worth more than a timestamp, right? And a thank you, or come out to my show and here's some gas money. It's beyond that. And I think it's time for us to start stepping up and supporting our fighters, so that
finding opportunities. That's what we're doing. And if this whole thing is successful, I can tell you that this is the beginning of something big.
Yeah, and it is.
We already have plans, for things down the line. If this
we have a rematch clause in this thing, where these guys are going to come to the United States, and we're going to talk about that later on. I'm not going to give that spoiler alert, but there is a rematch coming to the United States. So those UK fighters, we go over there and we win. They're coming here, and now we get a show here, and there should be no excuses for anybody that lives in the United States to not come and support us, because we're going to try to find a venue where it's going to be
a nice, we'll say centralized location.
Yes.
Centralized location.
That'll be said.
coming to a city near you,
near you.
or at least a plane flight away.
Right.
And then, even down the line, we're talking about maybe, going to some other places too on different shows. So again, we do have some big plans with this venue and some huge opportunities for the fighters. And I'm really excited about it. I'm excited to travel, see places I've never seen before. As somebody who did fight amateur, um, I fought in little like hole in the wall gyms and like I fought at a bar one time, and to have the opportunity to go to another country, be compensated and represent, something like the scrapyard is, in my opinion, probably one of the coolest things that anybody could wish for.
Right. Right. All
So
right.
I just want to talk about a couple things really quick. Where I'm going to briefly talk about the sponsorships that we're looking for. Look, if you're watching, and we've had 60, 70 people watching at once. Fighters out here are looking for sponsors. They need stuff covered, transportation, gym memberships, etc. And if you're a business owner or want some exposure, they get in the ring, they get a chance to say something, shout you out, talk about your business. You can negotiate whatever you want with these fighters. We are trying to find sponsors ourselves. So scrapyardfighting@gmail.com, hit me up. We'll try to link you up with a good fighter that represents the scrapyard, our values, all of that. And
Yeah.
hopefully everything works out mutually and you guys are happy with it.
You know what, too, with the sponsor thing, I just wanted to mention, too, with that, if you are a fighter and you're looking for sponsorship and you do hit us up about getting sponsorship, just be prepared to understand that there are guidelines for that. You don't misrepresent yourself. There
Or
you
us.
or
Or us.
us, right?
Yeah.
Because these relationships go a long way, and I hate for guys to go out and show that they're not professional. Because I mean, it's a big thing to get a company to reach out and want to sponsor you and put out money and support you in traveling and all those great things. But when you're being a knucklehead, or you're doing things that just are very unprofessional, or you're showing sides, the dark sides on your social media that you probably shouldn't show, you should rethink it, because you'll get dropped. You'll get dropped by a sponsor really fast by not doing what you're supposed to do on your end. Because that's a very important thing. With that being said, like I talked to Steve about this at Fire Chicken, I talked to you about this, and I told you, I have a couple of guys. I have 3 companies right now. I'm not going to tell you who they are, or maybe I can. Tailor Made Concrete. They're a concrete company looking to sponsor fighters. A fighter, I wouldn't say fighters, a fighter or two. And then we have Dane and Powell Real Estate, part of the John L. Scott, one of the leading real estate agents or companies in Washington, Puget Sound, also looking for sponsorship. Or to sponsor people. It's endless right now. I mean, it's just a matter of you calling us up, letting me know. I'll send out a sponsorship letter. Google, and I'll give you guys a little bit of a hint. I tell this to some of my people that I help out a lot. Google is your friend. You can get emails and contacts for all the businesses in Puget Sound area. You can get all the business in Greater Washington, wherever you are. If that means you're even out of state, look them up. Shoot them an email sponsorship. Tell them you're looking for sponsorship, because I'll tell you what, a closed mouth doesn't get fed, and I learned that a long time ago. So if you reach out, you never know what you can get out of a company.
Yes. Yeah. And then believe me, there's companies out there that would gladly enjoy having you speak about them, before you get in the ring. So,
And then also maybe call Fire Chicken or myself so we can guide you along what to say to them, because you have a marketing tool. A Scrapyard is an amazing place. We get tons of viewers. We got tons of subscribers. I mean, it's amazing what they get out of the promo from the Scrapyard. So
I mean, I post a reel on Instagram, and if it don't get 40, 50,000 views in one day, it's like, man, what do I got to do? What's wrong with this one? You
yeah,
know?
yeah,
I mean, like we're pushing almost 1.2 million on Instagram followers. you know, as somebody that's willing to sponsor, you have to look at that exposure that you can get. And,
Yeah,
you know, especially you businesses out here in the Pacific Northwest, especially,
especially.
you know, you're a place that somebody could stop into and actually call up and have work done locally. So, I mean, the resources there, reach out.
Yeah.
Let's have you cover the community stuff really quick.
Yeah, really quick because I do got to get out of here, guys. I'm sorry, I apologize. I do have to part a little early. I have a football game tonight and high school football. You know, if you guys don't know, I coach Cleveland high school football. I'm the head football coach. We're playing tonight against Ingram High School. That's a Metro 3A. We're a 2A team, but we're playing a 3A Metro bracket, and so we have a game tonight at 7:45. But I do have to be at the school by 4:30 to do chalk talk. So we're just about there. So I just want to say something that's going on. I shared it on the scrapyard page about the service days that we're going to have. I want to stress the importance of giving back. And the reason why we call it service days, because it's an opportunity for you to provide a service to the community, to also those that are in need. When I talk about the community, I'm not just talking about the scrapyard community and the families that are involved. I'm talking about the families that aren't involved. I'm talking about the families that could get involved by your participation, right? I mean, do you know that we could reach tons more people that could follow us and have a lot of pride in being a part of what we do by just giving back to the community. And so we've been talking about for quite some time now is how can we do that? And we've just went ahead now and said that the first exercise in our days of service are going to be for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And currently for Thanksgiving, we are already in the process of collecting canned foods and perishable food items so that we can donate that to the homeless. Harbor Help, which is in Grig Harbor, they're a community resource center, and they are directing me already to a handful of homeless shelters, tiny homes, women's shelters, places where there's children that do need, families that need assistance. And if anything, if we can't provide them financial help, then at least what we can do is put together care packages that assist them with being able to be comfortable in their situations, because you all know that these people, if you ever know been around a homeless facility or any type of like that, these people aren't just in their situations because they're drug addicts or they're alcoholics, because that is not the case. And we got to stop judging books by their covers. So that's the biggest piece about the service project, is to teach you guys all how to be selfless, to get involved. If I'm not teaching, then you're at least getting involved with it, and you already know about how important it is to be selfless and doing things for others. If you do for others before you do for yourself, sometimes the blessing in return is doubled or tripled. And the reward behind it and how you feel inside about doing for other people that need it is an amazing feeling. So we want you guys to do that. At this next event, last event, we got probably, I would say, maybe about 6 pounds or so of donated food. So all the guys that donated, I thank you for that. But at the next event, all the fighters, any of the staff members, please bring canned foods. Please bring your perishable food items. And what I mean by perishable food means like dry food products, boxed like macaroni and cheese or oatmeal and that type of stuff. Things that don't go bad and don't have a big expiration date. We are coming on close to November, so I don't see things going that bad, but we aren't also got to make sure that you guys all understand we're not taking financial donations. So please don't send in your money. Just bring your canned foods, bring your perishable food items. We'll be putting those packages together and we'll be donating those. We're looking at donating the week prior to Thanksgiving, or our event leading up to that, or the event after. I don't know where our date is on that, and we'll get back to you guys on that. But bring. We're also going to have a second bin, which is going to be for Christmas. I think it's important to start 2 months in advance, and that's going to be a toy drive for kids. I think that's another amazing thing. I remember back years when I first started at the scrapyard. One of our referees, I'm not going to say his name, family had a crisis situation, and his children were in a really bad situation. And we all came together and we provided clothes and toys and things for his children. That to me was an amazing thing. And if we could do that for one person, and it was just a few people who did that to help, if we all helped, it could be such a tremendous thing that we do for the community, in respect to kids that are in need. And I remember being a kid when I was younger, and maybe looked under the Christmas tree and didn't have what, anything there. And I think it could be sad, but it could be a very joyous occasion if a kid can look under a tree and just get one present, because one is better than none. And so I just
Yeah.
ask you guys, please, to donate your toys. They could be wrapped or unwrapped, whatever it is. If it's wrapped, just write girl or boy and the age on it, if you can, for us, so we don't have to unwrap it and figure it out how to give it and who to give it to. But those are the things that are coming up in the service days. And so again, we're going to have a Thanksgiving service day, and we're going to have a Christmas service day. And then I want to do is all the fighters that can, I'll schedule with Steve a day to come out to the scrapyard prior to Thanksgiving, and we're gonna put up a table, and we're gonna make some turkey sack lunches. The materials will be provided by myself and Pishoto, and we'll make sack lunches, uh, turkey sack lunches, and then we'll physically take the fighters. All of you guys that want to come, we can carpool. We can what do you call it? Follow each other. I don't know what it's called, but we'll follow each other to these places. You guys can actually, I would love to see the fighters actually give these sack lunches to the homeless and the communities. And then we'll possibly have some of those guys come out and tell us about their stories, how they got in these situations. Because people don't understand. Again, I go back to saying this, and I don't want to lead on too much, but not everybody's in that situation because of their circumstances. Like we had Hurricane Katrina, and people moved up to Washington. There's so many things where people have moved, or a husband or a wife has passed away, and they don't have the finances anymore, and they're stuck, and they're forced to sell their homes or foreclose on their houses, and all these situations. And so never judge a book by its cover. Come out and learn, be a part of it. It's going to be a great time. We're going to go out. We're going to donate this stuff ourselves to those communities. So that's kind of what I had, and I'd love to have everybody a part of that. It would be really cool.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? As we get more into the um, community outreach, helping out, we're going to find different avenues that we can actually contribute even more. So I think this is just a good starting point, and it's something that we've talked about for a while. And like I mentioned earlier, Len's doing a lot of footwork on things that we talked about. So it's great that you've taken the reins on that. And
There's somebody named Avion says, how can we donate to the cause? So again, if you're a fighter, or you're a plus one, or a fighter, you can always give them the the items to donate. Or you could, I know it's pretty difficult, but you could also do, there's things now that are like DoorDash, or they have what do you call it, Amazon, where you can do Amazon groceries. You can order it on Amazon. We could give you an address to ship that stuff to,
yeah,
and then that way you don't, if you're from out of town, or you're from out of state, you could participate in that way and just have them sent over. Again, I go back to saying a little bit can go a long way. So even if you can't afford but one canned food, that one canned food can feed somebody, and it's important. So, but those are ways that you can get involved, or how you can donate. I'll also be able to, maybe in the future, I think for Christmas, I would like to start getting some addresses of those that are in need. And then that way, if you want to donate directly to them, you could buy like a Safeway gift card or a QFC gift card, and you can just mail it straight to the persons. And now I know these people are homeless, but the tiny camps, tiny homes, and homeless shelters do have addresses, and we'll be able to send mail to them, or send that stuff to them direct, and we'll work on that. So it's still more to come. Still things we got to work on.
yeah. Real quick, I just, because I've got people watching, and I like to do this, I'm going to gift a couple memberships really quick. So I know I didn't mention any of this, prior. I usually tell people, oh, if we can get so many likes or whatever, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to gift 5 memberships right now. So if you're watching you might get a free membership to be able to check out our early access and exclusive content on our channel. So here we go. 5 lucky members. It's random. I can't pick,
So you guys tap in, man. Get your membership, man. It's a huge opportunity.
Daisy, Alec, the girl with the animals, Pyramid 7, and Sly Doggy. I wish you guys would comment on this whole thing. It's great to see. Actually, the girl with the animals, I believe, commented earlier. But go check out the membership section. There's some stuff in there. Actually, all the fights from last event are in there that you can check out before anybody else will get to see them. So I hope you guys enjoy. And
well, guys, I do have to get going. I just want you guys keep your support of the Scrapyard. Remember Team Scrapyard in the UK. Things are coming up. Come out, support. If you want to fight, sign up, because that's important. Sign up. And then guys, just keep supporting the Scrapyard and everything we're doing. It's amazing. We couldn't do this without you guys. And I know personally me, man, I just want to say I appreciate you guys. And no love is lost. Love is always given. So I love you guys all. Appreciate you. God bless you. I'm out.
Thank you, LB3. It was great having you on the podcast. This is episode 100. Now I'm going to premiere a fight for you guys really quick. It's just a quick one, but you guys can, I think I released it today, actually. So this is kind of the unedited version. So here we go.
Shout out to my friends and family for supporting me through everything I do. Much love and respect to my opponent.
My name is Maxim. Russian, let's go.
Yeah.
Sweet, love it. I need my mouth guard.
What's going on, everybody? Fire Chicken here at the Scrapyard. We're winding down to the end of an amazing event, and we got an MMA match for you right now. Just not very many of them today, so they're definitely welcomed. Shout to all the sponsors. Check them out below in the description. You guys, be safe and fight hard. He's just grabbing his mouthpiece.
Yeah. Okay, gentlemen, bring it in. You've both been briefed on the rules of this contest. I want you to obey my commands at all times. Protect yourselves at all times. Any questions? Any questions? Touch gloves now and go back to your corners.
Yes, sir. Got it, boys. Stay relaxed.
Fighter, you ready? Fighter, you ready? The Scrapyard round 1 MMA match. Let's fight.
There you go. You got the stand up now. You got the stand up now. Squat and touch up. Squat and touch up. Work that jab. Set up those kicks. There you go. Yeah, use your hand. Set up your kicks. Set it up. You got it. Set it up.
There you go. There you go, Max.
Guard up. Breathe. All right, settle in. Settle in. Settle in. Top pressure. Get the rear naked. Get on top of them. There you go. Get the rear naked. Lock it in. There you go. Lock it in. You got it. Half jump. Half jump. Relax. Squeeze. 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 You got him. Relax. Yeah.
Good shit, boy. Good shit. Much love, brother.
There's that rear naked, bro. That was a straight along together.
Oh. Did you get broke his nose? You hit the nose? We don't want to blow it. My God.
Bro.
Can you get it off his chin there? You have to get on video. Semi-rear naked something or other, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Okay, a minute 17 into your first round. We have finished by rear naked choke. Your winner.
Choke's happening.
Thank you, Scrapyard. Great shit.
Thank you, Dorian. It's been great having you. I think Dorian might actually be moving though, so we might not be seeing him fight at the Scrapyard for a while, but it was great having him out. He did quite a few matches out here. I mean, he's probably done 5, 6, 7 matches. Yeah, so Hey, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to Kicking with Chicken, episode number 100. You guys are all awesome. It was great having LB3 on here, but you know, it's about that time. So I'm just gonna have to say have a good rest of your evening. And I'll catch you on the next one. Fire Chicken out.